Good evening, students. Welcome to this growth class by Shikuya. Let's upskill. Welcome you all. I hope my voice is audible to you all, guys. So the today's growth class is about the recruitment process of Cognizant GenC next. So most of you will be uh, preparing for all the campus placements whenever you'll be entering into a third year of your engineering. And Cognizant is considered to be one of the mass recruiting company for all the final year graduating students. So Cognizant have huge lot of opportunity in terms of all the fresher students to get placed into that particular company. So in today's growth class, we are going to understand what are the different steps of Cognizant recruitment process, what are the different profiles of GenC, GenC Elevate, GenC Pro, GenC Next, and what is the differences between all of them, how do they differ into their respective job profile as well as into their packages, and let us understand all these details through this growth class. So let us start. So Cognizant GenC recruitment process. So to understand, there are four types of profiles basically. So first is GenC, the second one is GenC Elevate, third one is GenC Pro, and last one is GenC Next. So we are going to understand the details of each and every profile in detail about their recruitment process, how do the candidates are being hired into that particular profile, what is the eligibility criteria, and how you can get placed into all these respective profiles by applying for the Cognizant on campus or off campus recruitment. Before going ahead, I would just like to request you to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not done, so that you can get all the important updates regarding all the placement related news, all the placement related sessions that we conduct usually on our YouTube channel. So let us start with the differences into the respective packages. So if if we discuss about the GenC profile, Cognizant GenC profile, it has the package of 4 lakhs per annum. If we go to GenC Elevate, then it has 4 lakhs per annum plus skill bonus, which ranges from around 25,000 to 30,000. So it has also skill bonus of 25,000 plus 4 lakh per annum. That is a package. GenC Pro, it is 5.4 LPA, and GenC Next is 6.75 lakhs per annum. Now, whenever it is an on-campus drive, that for the on-campus drive, it changes according to the college, it changes according to the students and all the other factors. But in off-campus drive, students have the liberty whether to register for GenC Elevate, whether to register for GenC, or whether GenC Next. So on the basis of that registration process, student can choose in the off-campus drive for which profile do they want to register and do they want to appear. So let's go ahead. What is the typical recruitment process for the GenC? Then it starts with the registration. Then the second round is the aptitude test, and the third is technical and HR interview. Now, the profile that is being hired in the GenC, or the job role that is being assigned to you, is more about the quality assurance and the testing profile in the GenC. So here you need not to study more of C programming, data structure in order to give the aptitude or written test. But surely and definitely your technical interview will be conducted upon your basic fundamental knowledge of programming, C, data structure, then a bit about C++ as well. So you have to be a little bit aware of all of these things if you are applying for the GenC profile. And the role that will be there for the GenC profile will be a quality assurance or the testing role. So this is about the GenC. If you talk about the things that will be asked in the aptitude test of the GenC program, then it is numerical ability, verbal ability, analytical ability, critical thinking, abstract reasoning, and the data analysis. Now, most of the students are aware what will be asked in the numerical ability. Then all those questions from the quantitative aptitude that ranges from the percentage, average, ratio, proportion, mixture, allegation, and so on and so forth. Verbal ability, they will be asking the basic questions of grammar, then fundamentals of tenses, then parts of speech. All these things will be covered in the verbal ability. Analytical is again a reasoning, critical thinking also a reasoning, abstract reasoning. So these all the parts belong to the reasoning ability. In the data analysis, there will be a questions from data interpretation, then data sufficiency. All these will be asked over there. So these are the typical questions or the typical sections which will be asked in the aptitude test of the GenC round. Then if you talk about the GenC Elevate Pro or Next, then these are the different rounds that will be asked in the GenC Elevate. They won't ask you anything from aptitude for all of these further rounds. First is your registration, then second is your skill based assessment, and the third is your technical and HR interview. Now students, it is very important to understand in the in the profile of GenC, after the skill based assessment, either you will get selected for when you register for GenC Next. Yes, I'll be coming to the questions in the chat box as well later on. Let us first understand all the details one by one here, and then I'll also quickly answer the questions which have been asked in the chat box as well. Is the GenC future, or whether can I choose GenC, it is best or not? So I'll answer all these questions later on once I finish this. Okay. Now, if you talk about the GenC Elevate or GenC Next, if you register for GenC Next, then after the skill based assessment, your final interview will be decided upon whether you will be shortlisted for GenC Next profile or the GenC Elevate profile. That depends on the written test that you will give over there. Okay. Now again, even if you got register for GenC Elevate, in that case as well, your interview will be conducted, and on the basis of that, you whether it will be decided whether you are selected for GenC Elevate or whether you are rejected. One thing to note over here is, suppose if you are rejected from any of the round of Cognizant, that may be GenC Elevate, that may be GenC Pro, or that may be GenC Next, then you are not allowed to appear for Cognizant again. Even if you are rejected from the aptitude test or the written test of skill based assessment, then it is allowed. You can once again appear after a couple of days when they will again announce the off campus drive. But suppose if you are rejected from the final interview, then you are not allowed to appear for Cognizant again. So you have to remember this very important thing, that if you are got selected for this particular thing, Cognizant GenC Next or GenC Elevate profile, you have to give your best in your final interview. Now, what do they ask for all these, like GenC Next or GenC Elevate, these profiles? They usually ask about the data structures, basic fundamentals of C language, then C++, then database management systems. So all these things will be asked in the technical and final HR interview. So you have to prepare accordingly. Now, the profile or the job role that will be given after you get selected for GenC Next or GenC Elevate is the developer. Now, on which technology you will be working, that depends on so many factors. So that may be big data, that may be IoT, that may be cloud or AWS. So that depends on how do you what kind of knowledge you possess, what kind of expertise you hold, and all these things decide in which technology you will be working. But majorly this profile will be a developer. Okay. Now going ahead, what will be asked in the skill based assessment of the GenC Elevate or the GenC Next? So the first is the MCQ test, which will be a conceptual and code analysis. So there will be around 15 questions, and that will be duration for the 30 minutes. So there will be fundamentals of C language, data structure, C++, then code analysis, there will be certain code given and you have to decide which will be the answer of that particular code. So in that way, there will be a 15 MCQ questions will be asked. And then second round is coding challenge. So there will be a coding case study, which will be having the 4 questions, and the time duration for that will be a 70 minutes. So in all the profiles like GenC Elevate or GenC Next, you need not to give, exam of aptitude. You can directly give this technical section technical exam, and if you get rejected from this, again you can apply for Cognizant. But if you get rejected from the technical interview, final interview, then you are not allowed to appear once again. So this is very, very important thing that you have to note down. One doubt that has came into the chat box, that GenC future, or whether shall I apply for the GenC profile. Students, I would like to tell you one thing. Even if you join Cognizant as a GenC profile, there will be internal test when you join their company after 1 year or 1.5 years. So after that internal test, once you give that internal test, you can also switch your profile from either GenC to GenC Pro, or GenC Elevate, or even GenC Next. So it is not like you are getting the profile of quality assurance, so you should not choose the GenC profile. You shouldn't do that mistake. If you are getting selected for the GenC profile, you can start your career into a software company, but at the same time, you should enhance your technical knowledge. That will be from C language, then will be from data structure, DBMS, from all these concepts. And after joining, after 1.5 years, you can give that internal test where you can upgrade your profile from the GenC to the GenC Elevate or the GenC Next. And that is how you can have the wonderful and bright future into the company, because that will also enhancing your profile, as well as that will also increasing your package as well. So you have to look after that even when you join Cognizant as a GenC profile. Now let us try to understand what is the eligibility criteria for all of these exam or all of these drives to appear, whether it is on campus or whether it is off campus. So the percentage is, you must have the 60% aggregate right from your 10th standard, 11th, 12th to your final year of graduation. You must have the 60%. Second one is, you shouldn't have any active backlog at the time of appearing to the exam. So you must remember this important thing. Now all those students who will be in the 3rd year currently right now, for them maybe this exam will be conducted in the month of September or October. So they should be aware of that, and before that they should clear all their backlogs if there are any, so that they can appear well in the exam. Gap criteria is there. So overall gap in the academic career not to exceed more than 2 years. So you can have the gap, but it is below 2 years. Now there are certain branches that has to be allowed for the profile of GenC Elevate and GenC Next. So by mistake here it has been replaced. For the GenC profile, this BE, BTech, ME, MTech, MCA, MS Software Engineering, these branches are allowed. And for the GenC Elevate, okay, for the GenC Elevate, these branches are allowed: Computer Science Engineering, ECE, EEE, then Electronics and Communication Engineering, Information Science Engineering, and allied branches, which are belonging to the circuit branches specifically. So those all the branches are allowed for GenC Elevate, okay. And for GenC, BE, BTech, ME, MTech, MCA, and MS Software Engineering, these branches are allowed for the GenC profile, because it is not asking more questions of programming and related things in the written test. So it is only asking the aptitude in the written test. So all those students, irrespective of which branches from they can appear for the GenC profile, okay. So this is how you can crack the these all the drives of GenC Elevate, GenC Next, GenC Pro. So that is more likely to be have a great career into the company like Cognizant. So quickly, if you have any doubts, students, I would like to address all those doubts in quick 2 to 3 minutes, and then we will be having a brief summary of the entire session that we had. So if you have any doubt, you can post it in the chat box, and I'm there to take all of your doubts. Yes, so I have already answered this question, GenC future, and can I choose GenC, is it best or not? So you can definitely choose, because as it is giving you the first opportunity, you can choose that, and later on you can upgrade your profile by giving some internal test in the Cognizant, and where you can upgrade your profile and get higher, get recruited for the GenC Elevate or GenC Pro or GenC Next. That is possible. Yes, Varsha, for the GenC profile, also mechanical students are allowed. You can give the, for the GenC profile, you can also apply, you can also register and give the exam, and you can also get selected, so that even after 1 year or 1.5 years, you can also switch your profile for GenC to the next level, that is Elevate or Pro or GenC Next. Yes, so it is allowed for mechanical guys as well. It is allowed for the GenC profile. Any further doubts? Okay, so well, students, I once again urge you all to subscribe to our YouTube channel, press the bell icon, so that you can get all the notifications, all the updates regarding all these particular sessions that we conduct to help you, the entire the student community, into your placement preparation. So I wish you all the best, and like this video, share this video with all your friends. Those will be, having the great help from the entire thing. So thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.